Hey everybody, welcome back to X-Plane 11. I am Bill, and we're not at John Wayne today. We're not starting out at John Wayne today. We're starting out at Palomar, and I got a question on Discord that I thought would be more fun to answer in the form of a video or a stream rather than in text form. So the question was, this guy flies out of Palomar out of San Diego and asked how you visit John Wayne. What are some of the particulars coming into John Wayne? And so he had a bunch of questions. Where to park, where GA parking is, are there any protocols or etiquettes for the run-up area, approaches, some of the VFR directions, pattern altitudes, all that stuff. And it was a lot of stuff, and because I fly out of John Wayne, because I'm based out of there so often in these streams, I thought it would be a fun slight change to fly into John Wayne from the perspective of somebody visiting. So if you're in the area locally and want to visit John Wayne but might be either confused by some of the information you see or intimidated by the fact that it's a Class Charlie or that it's got some unique things about it, I thought it'd be fun to go over what I know about flying into John Wayne and show it in the simulator, again, from the perspective of visiting rather than just flying out and coming back. It is a unique airport, not just because it's a Class Charlie airport, but it does things very differently, and it's kind of fun. So I'm not an instructor. There's a lot that I don't know about how to get into John Wayne, but I think based on the questions that were asked, I can address at least most of them. So the first thing, again, we're at Palomar. We're in 172, 53176. So we're not very far from John Wayne. And again, this is where the guy who was asking the question flies out of. So this was a pretty easy choice on where to start from, at least. So the first thing that I would recommend doing is going to the following website. Let me pull it up here so you can see it. It is ocair.com. I found this website quite a bit later after I've started flying into John Wayne, and it has some really helpful information on it if you've never been to John Wayne before. It is so buried, it's hilarious, which is why I wanted to show it actually on the browser if you're thinking about flying into John Wayne and using some of these tips. This is where you find it. So it's ocair.com, and you scroll all the way down to the bottom onto the footer here where the FAQs are, and there's a little link here called General Aviation. You click that, and you're not done yet. By the way, I love this picture with the Cirrus landing with the 737 in the back. Very typical John Wayne scene there. So then you have this navigation on the left-hand side here, and you've got pilot information. I mean, there's a bunch of other things here like transient parking. It shows where, these are not transient, but if you're actually based there. But pilot information is the tab you want to go to. And that gives you pretty much everything you need to know. You've got the location, which we kind of, know where that is. Distances from other airport, that's fine. Distances from nav aids, that's fine. Communication frequencies, this is nothing that you can't get on ForeFlight or SkyVector or whatever your EFB of choice is. You've got VFR arrival routes. So this, you can kind of read through this. So if you're arriving from the east, El Toro, proceed to Signal Peak. Expect left traffic, 20 left, report UCI. Arriving Dana Point in Laguna Beach, proceed to Signal Peak, left traffic, report UCI. So those are both the same. We'll go over that. Arriving southwest, Huntington Beach Pier, enter right traffic, 20 right, report downwind. You're probably not going to get that. Arriving from the west clockwise to Chino Hills, proceed to Miles Square Park, right traffic, 20 right. You're probably going to get a crossover and landing 20 left. So this isn't really it's good to know that, but it's probably not what you're going to get. Approach frequencies are good. Normal VFR departures. We'll go over this because this is pretty much a guarantee. You can expect some variation on this, but these departures are what you're going to get. There's 4 of them. The El Toro, the Newport, the Mesa, and the Orange, all with their corresponding headings. We'll go over that. But this is good to read here. Kind of gives you an example of how to depart. But this is the best thing that's a part of this website. And this is a map that shows the surrounding area and illustrates everything that's in text above here. Nightbot, you can chill out too, by the way. And hello to everybody that's watching live on Twitch. Hello, Ryan, Fatsim Flyer, Kythric. So this is awesome. I love this diagram. I really wish I had seen this before I started flying, but I kind of learned some of this on the fly at the airport with the help of a CFI. But this points out everything that you need to know. So if you're coming in from Dana Point, Signal Peak, there's the GPS identifier there. Shows where UCI is. Pull it up on Google Maps if you want to see what it looks like a little bit closer. It shows Southeast arrivals, El Toro arrivals. It just really is a nice, easy layout of what to expect. And definitely, if you're thinking about flying into John Wayne, use this. It's ocair.com, general aviation pilot information. But this is a good thing to read through. And then you've got a nice diagram. This isn't like the official diagram, but it shows you, some of the run-up areas and some particular stuff that you need to know for operating. But it also shows you transient parking, which is available at Atlantic and at ACI. Nothing against Atlantic. I just use ACI because the plane I fly is based out of ACI on the other side of the airport. And I've used ACI before at other airports, and they're fantastic. You've got 3 hours free parking at ACI Jet. You've got the frequency. You've got the phone number. I would just call ahead and say, hey, I'm going to be arriving tomorrow at noon, or whatever. I want to park. I might need gas or whatever. I'm going to be coming in for lunch or something. It's really I highly recommend letting them know you're coming. They have and will take people that are just like, hey, I don't know where to go. Where should I park? They will do that, but they're very nice. The line guys are all super cool. Give them the courtesy of a heads up, and it'll go a long way, I think. So that is where we'll park in the sim. So we'll see what that looks like. But everything here, this is, I said, really good to just look over and familiarize yourself with. But like I try to do often, doing it in the simulator and actually seeing it in action is a super, super good way of becoming familiar with an airport you've never been to before. And my windowed mode is not happy at the moment. How does that look? All right. Going back, actually, I'm going to show one more thing. This is Sky Vector, and you have a lot of the same information, but it's just a little bit more straightforward and not as kind of designed, I guess, here. This is the flight plan, Palomar to John Wayne. I just drew a straight line. This is really simple. This restricted area is almost always cold. You can avoid it if you want by flying a little bit offshore, but it's always cold as long as you're on flight following. It's fine. Dana Point here is pretty easy to spot. There's a marina right on the end, right on the point there. And then Signal Peak, some radio towers right there, and that is a GPS location. So there is a that will be in your GPS. So you can, if you put VPL SP in your GPS, it will identify that. And then you've got on the other side, on the north side, Huntington Beach Pier, which is right here where my mouse is. And then I don't think Mile Square Park is on here, but that is also another GPS waypoint that is not showing up on that one. It might be on the TAC chart. Yeah, Mile Square right there. It's literally a square mile, a park that is a square mile. I should have done this before. The TAC chart is way better looking. So those are the GPS locations that you'll be flying into, and it is pretty. They're pretty easy to spot, but you kind of want to make sure you know where it is, and not flying there blind. So consulting the chart, consulting Google Maps before you take off is recommended. Okay. One of the questions was when to call in when you're arriving to John Wayne. And flight, happy Thursday. Hello. So the approach. So what about approach from north, east, west directions? Are there any common checkpoints? So we talked about that. Let's see. Approach. Standard class Charlie, check in from 20-ish miles out. I would always have flight following before you even leave the airport that you're flying from, and not picking it up in the air. You definitely can. It doesn't necessarily have to be 20 miles out. I've definitely done it from within 20 miles being in the practice area, but always have flight following because it's very busy airspace. So that's how we're going to do it from here. We're going to pick up flight following on the ground in Palomar and then fly up to John Wayne, and we'll kind of be at the mercy of the controllers, but also know that we're probably going to proceed to signal peak. We can maybe report over UCI, and then we'll enter a left downwind for 20 left, and then talk about the approach and the pattern altitudes, which were another question, another portion of the question. So now that all that's done, we can get the plane started. And this is the Rep Pack 172. And I'm going to start this as quickly as possible here. So let's get that coming on. Avionics, I don't know why that is on there. Okay. Prime it. Good. Mixture out. And let's see if it will start. Let's get the beacon on. Clear prop. Okay. Good deal. I was going to do this earlier in the week, but they were doing reverse ops because of the winds, and I thought that would not live on. So this is the winds are pretty normal today, pretty light. It's probably going to be nothing by the time we get there, and that will be more of what 98% of the time it's landing 20 left, 20 right versus the 2s. Okay, let's turn the lights. I'll get all the lights coming on here, and that looks like a good start. So Palomar is an airport that I've landed at once or twice. Done some high-speed approaches with Brad for a while, but never really operated out of it necessarily. We did do a full stop there. So it's a Class Delta. There's not much, it's pretty simple from that perspective. So let's get the ATIS. There's no clearance in delivery, which is convenient. ATIS is 2015.
Assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Foxtrot. Carlsbad McClellan Palomar Airport. 8 is information Foxtrot. 0153 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 8. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 14. Dew point 12. Altimeter 299er. Arriving and departing runway 24. ILS runway 24 approach in use. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions.
Is that the right altitude
Advise
there?
on initial contact you have information Foxtrot.
Yeah, I guess so. There you go. All right, information Foxtrot. All right, so now we need ground. Well, I guess there is clearance in delivery, isn't there? For clearance delivery when ATC is closed, call SoCal approach. Okay. This won't be as involved of a clearance as John Wayne will be, but there is clearance in delivery, so 134.85 is in there, and let's find out what we need to know to leave Palomar. We're going to go at 3,000 feet as well. Palomar clearance, good evening, Skyhawk 53176, information Foxtrot, we like flight following to John Wayne at 3,000.
Skyhawk 53176, Palomar clearance, departure frequency 119.6, squawk 5633.
5633. Departure frequency is 119.6, squawking 5633, 53176.
Skyhawk 53176, read back right.
Okay. So there. No, I don't think that was Brandon. I don't think that was Brandon. It could be Brandon with a cold, but I don't think so. Oh, hi, Ceremonial Melon. Okay, so ground is 21.8. And then tower is 18.6. Now, I don't know how true to life my Palomar operation will be, so if I'm doing something wrong here, sorry. Ground point 8. Let's do a run up. Let's see where the run up is. I think it's just at the end. Let's go taxiways. So we're right at the tower. Yeah, I think we just go down to the end. That does bring up another good point though, is if we go to John Wayne here, and I'm gonna actually make this this one. See if that looks good. Yeah. So I'm gonna go to full screen at John Wayne. I'm gonna go to taxiways, and based off of the diagram from OC Air, we know where we want to go, and that's ACI here, and we can get all the information from ForeFlight too. I can pull up the phone, fuel prices, which the full service fuel price is really not bad. Have them fill you up if you need to get gas. Crew cars. I mean, they've got everything here. Dude, ForeFlight is so awesome. But this is where we want to go. So I'm gonna note on here. I'm gonna land here, and let's just say that we are going to go down. That's a really bad line.
So it's 462, read back right.
Let's say we're gonna go all the way down to hotel. I know that I'm gonna exit off hotel and do something like this and go in here. Now, not knowing, you can get a lot more granular on where you're going to be taxiing, but keep in mind that John Wayne can get very busy, and it's probably not going to be what you think it is, but at least if you highlight where you need to end up, that should help understand where you're being taken, if they have you do something different, or if you like get off at Juliet and there's another plane coming, you might go down to Charlie, you might have to wait at Juliet. But we know that we're going to end up at ACI there. And ForeFlight will save this annotation, so when you land, that'll automatically pop up. So if you use ForeFlight, that will help when you're going to an airport that might be a little bit on the confusing side. Progressive taxi is the key if you're unsure. Absolutely. I would just say that John Wayne can get super busy, that they will probably not be super happy if you ask for progressive taxi. I've never heard anybody ask for that, but it's a short taxi unless for whatever reason you land on 20 right and have to go around. It shouldn't be you'll be able to see it, and you'll see when we actually land in the sim. You should be able to see it, but Flight is right. Progressive taxi will help in, for more complex taxiing. This isn't complex, it can just get busy. So now that is done, let's I'm just going to pull up the taxi diagram for this right now, because I'm not super familiar with it. Palomar Ground, Skyhawk 53176 over at Western Flight, taxi with Foxtrot.
Skyhawk 53176, Palomar Ground, runway 24, taxi via Alpha.
24 via Alpha 53176. Turn left to Juliet, hold short of Alpha for passing 737. You will never get Alpha. Well, I shouldn't say never, because John Wayne, never say never at John Wayne. I heard guys ask for progressive taxis out of IAH because they aren't based there. Yeah, I haven't heard that actually at John Wayne, but yeah, Ryan, like you said, hold short for past the well, only because you said Juliet. You wouldn't get Alpha if you taxi off of Juliet. You'd get Juliet, Charlie, Hotel, hold short at Hotel for passing 737. But yeah, caution jet blast. Caution wake turbulence. And I don't know where the run-up area is here. I thought it was right. I have like this double airport scenery thing happening here. But I thought that the run-up was over here somewhere, but I don't think it's really being depicted here very well. But we're not here to talk about Palomar. We're here to talk about John Wayne, so I'm not going to worry about it.
Hey, bird. Whoa, buddy.
Approaching runway 24.
Quasar, thank you so much for 17 months? Is that even possible? Hey, dude, how is that even possible, 17 months? Is that a typo in a 17-month streak? Dude, that is crazy. Quasar, thank you so much, man. That like blows my mind that it's been that long. It's really weird, dude. Well, thank you, man. I really, really appreciate that. That is definitely the case, Ryan. All right, we're going to do a quick little run-up. I have been caught a couple of times in the sim by doing the typical simulator thing and not doing a run-up and then having the controls be backwards for some reason. So I'm gonna make sure to actually do it. Okay, yeah, you know what I forgot to do during my
2460, SoCal Approach, Ontario, altimeter 3001.
constant rambling is putting in the beacon code. So let's go to tower, and then 19.6 is the departure.
ABX 2460, heavy, expect vectors, visual.
Flight sim pilot, this is Palomar, yeah. This is my double airport scenery, Palomar.
Pretty good, how you doing, Nine?
Alright, so we're pretty much ready to go. I just want to do one more quick check here, which, again, I did not do a very good job of actually flying the plane, talking too much about John Wayne, because I like John Wayne too much. Let's get the DG set. Alright, DG is set. We don't have any headings that we need to worry about leaving here. Altimeter is set. Beacon code is in. Departure frequency is in. Run-up is complete. So let's switch over to think I jumped the gun on this. I did. Tower, I think, is 18.6, right? Yeah, 18.6 is tower, and then 19.6 is departure. We're going up to 3,000. I flew out of there today to Bermuda Dunes, and I flew out of there on Tuesday.
2460
Awesome,
Heavy,
dude.
descend and maintain 4,500.
Shoot. Stupid.
Cessna Skyhawk 204. Oh, fuck.
Hey, Kenny. Palomar Tower, Skyhawk 53176, holding short 24.
Skyhawk 53176, wind calm, Palomar Tower, wind calm, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 24, 53176. Well, congratulations, flight.
Hebex 2460 Heavy,
Lights,
flight present heading
camera,
Approaching runway
descend,
24.
descend and maintain 4,500.
Entered runway 24. 4,800 feet remaining.
First stream of the decade. That is crazy. It's very weird that it's 2020 finally. It's going to be a good year, though, I think. All right, let's get going to John Wayne. I'm going to kill this for right now. Yikes. Little tank slapper there. Everything is green. Airspeed's alive.
But we know that there are some screws loose in this cabin. Hello. Hi.
Neuromancer, happy Thursday. Hello. Hi. Okay. Palomar will probably, a departure will be make right turn at the coastline. So, you know, we'll just do that. Any progress?
SoCal approach, good evening. Ontario altimeter 3001.
Yeah, Ryan, actually there is, the plane's finished with its annual. It's getting an avionics upgrade.
Thanks for Foxtrot.
And then the plane will be ready to go, and we are waiting for word on the DPE, which should be any day now. So we're close. Armchair Aviator. Yes, I am based out of John Wayne in real life. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, the new GPS will be in place with the HSI, so that will simplify things tremendously. I still have more time in the KLN, but I think the Garmin is so intuitive.
Skyhawk 176, contact departure, good flight.
Departure 53176, thanks. Yes. Yes, flight, of course. SoCal departure 53176, 2,800, climbing 3,000.
Skyhawk 53176, SoCal departure radar contact. The John Wayne altimeter 3001.
Alright, 3001, 53176, thanks. As soon as you started talking about...
2460 Heavy, turn right heading 23.
No, different DPE flight.
Right turn 230, ABEX 2460 Heavy.
Yep. Different guy. It's actually the guy that I called after the first guy happened, and so I've already talked to him. Super nice.
10,000 coverage.
Super nice. So I'm really excited. Like, I am so much happier to hopefully be getting my license from this guy anyway. Like, night and day difference just on the phone. So I feel so much more confident.
Again for 2460 Heavy, right turn 230.
About 2460 Heavy, let's make a right turn all the way around to heading at 330 heading.
That makes more sense. Right turn 330, ABEX 2460 Heavy.
Neuromancer, we'll
approach a little FedEx 250 and Heavy.
debrief that whole thing.
We'll play 180.
For sure. Once it's all
FedEx
done.
258.
Let's get Bob Bill going here.
Ontario altimeter 3001, expect vectors.
TP,
Okay,
PPL.
vectors visual 26 left, FedEx 250 and Heavy.
And ABEX 2460 Heavy is the airport, wouldn't help.
FX 2460, clear visual approach runway
3,000 is
left.
actually kind of
Maintain
too
210
high for
knots
this.
or greater to Tessery.
Alright, 210 or greater to Tessery and clear the visual 26 left, AVEX
Autopilot on here.
2460 heavy.
Cargo 101, descend and maintain 5,500.
Descend maintain 5,500, Cargo 101.
Yeah, it's part of the deal, I think, Armchair.
250 knots.
There are so many moving parts to doing all this. Okay. So a quick update on flying into John Wayne here. What we're doing. So this is for flight here. Like I said, this restricted area is almost always cold, but feel free to avoid it if you want. It's kind of, you know, you're just as well to avoid it, but ask them if it's cold or not once you're in the air. Excuse me, once you're in the air, you know, you don't have to stay too far offshore to avoid it, but it's easily cold. Every aircraft is a weight shift control aircraft. So at this point in the flight, do your cruise checklist, right? Get our lights coming off. Let's, you know, set the power, lean, do whatever you got to do. If you're down lower, you know, you might not have to lean. There's a couple of ways that you can enter the airspace. You can go up here, which is the El Toro area, or El Toro practice area. It is the practice area, but it does, you know, it is a practice area, so it can be busier, especially if you're doing this on a weekend, you know, lunchtime-ish. I would suggest going up the coast. It's much prettier, views are great, it's PCH, Laguna Beach. Go up the coast, and you're going to cut into Signal Peak, which I am going to put on here.
7,500 for the next 250
And
heavy.
I'm going to actually go direct to from here. So I'm not going to fly the direct to, but
462, Las Vegas Grand Runway 26
I'm
right
gonna put that in
there.
there
Charlie,
right now.
verify.
At this point, once you've left Palomar, there's a couple of things that you can. I mean, this is all like this has nothing to do with arriving into John Wayne. This is just like common sense stuff. I would argue. But,
2460 heavy,
in COM 2,
20.6, good night,
I'm going to get
460 heavy.
26.0 in there. That's the John Wayne ATIS. So that's ready to go. I know in Pilot Edge that they're going to switch me to 28.1. I can't recall what the frequency is coming up the shore. I think it's 24.35 or 25.35 or something like that. 24.1. It really doesn't matter, but I just happen to know what Pilot Edge is going to send me to, so I have that in there.
Right heading 210 for Cargo Jet 101.
Cargo Jet 101, negative, turn right heading 280.
Oh, so Armchair Aviator, your
330,
instructor got fired by the flight school. That's a bummer, dude. You've got to be a real bad CFI. Dude, that's crazy, man. Well, I am sorry that happened, but hopefully you can learn from it. There's got to be a learning moment in there somewhere. Neuromancer brought the hammer down. You can put in this. Delete flight plan.
Cargo Jet 101, turn right heading 320.
Heading 320, Cargo Jet 101.
Cargo Jet 101, field 1 o'clock, 15 miles, report Ontario inside.
We have Ontario inside, Cargo Jet 101.
So that's
Cargo Jet 101, clear visual approach runway 26 left.
Clear for the visual 26 left, Cargo Jet 101. Thank you very much.
well, you're pretty close, Armchair. That's awesome, dude.
FedEx 258 Heavy, descend and maintain 5,500.
And a 5,500, 250.
Let's see, what else preparing for this arrival here. Again, you can pick north or, not really south, but we'll just say east or west. You can go up the 5, or you can go up PCH. I suggest going up PCH for the view, but be on the lookout.
For traffic, 12 o'clock, 6 miles southbound, Alpha Gates 2,500, type on.
We're looking at Cargo Jet 11.
FedEx 258 Heavy, descend and
That
maintain
I
4,300.
almost thought that was for me as I was talking about traffic, because there is a lot of traffic in this area. So the altitude, I picked 3,000. I don't want to go too high because you don't need to. 2,500 would be fine. I think that's kind of what we've done before. But the lower you are, the better the view is, but also the more chance of running into other traffic. So we're just going to wait and see what kind of mess we can come up with going into John Wayne. Let's address any other questions here. Wanted to go for breakfast or lunch. What are the good easy access airport restaurants, transit parking? Okay, so we'll talk about that once we get there. Common checkpoints like Signal Hill, it's Signal Peak that ATC sends you to from other directions. Pattern altitude. So the pattern altitude on 20 left, the smaller one, is 850. So it's an 800-foot pattern, and we'll talk about that as we descend into that. Nearmaster, I have about 55.
Airport inside FedEx 250 Heavy.
FedEx 258 Heavy, clear for the visual approach, runway 26 left. If you need to go through the tunnel for the descent, that's approved. If you had a cargo
very
jet,
fun 55.
you'll be following. It's about 6 miles ahead. Turn and final. Looks like you'll be over.
Yeah, they're really not flight. I think the thing about John Wayne is it does things differently, and it can kind of throw you off. Which brings up another point. I'm actually going to show this here.
FedEx 258 Heavy, you said you have the cargo jet in flight.
Still looking for him now, FedEx 250 Heavy.
FedEx 258 Heavy,
Go
cargo
to
jet
John
traffic
Wayne.
is 2 o'clock, 6 miles. He's a 757.
Let's pull this up. Alright, right here, I'm going to... Can I highlight this? I don't think I can highlight this. Okay, so under airport remarks, it says VFR aircraft, to avoid overflight runway 20 right, runway 2 left, arrival, fly final at 15-degree angle to runway. Runway 20 left departures, turn 15-degree left at departure end of runway to avoid overflight. So they want you to offset your arrivals and departure by 15 degrees as you arrive and depart. That is not typical, and I think it's it may not sound intuitive if you just read it, and seeing it makes a lot more sense, and you can actually see what you need to do, and that it's really not a big deal. Not worried about larger airports so much as busier airspaces. I sit just outside of a Class Bravo, and I don't even like going under the shelf if I can avoid it.
258 Heavy.
I have done both.
Tower, good evening. Number 2.
Big, you know what to expect to a point.
On a 2-mile final.
You are told what to do for the most part.
At 4, runway
Well, you're told what to do, but John Wayne, like I said, John Wayne is unique, is a unique animal because it's so busy and it does things differently,
2 o'clock,
and it can really get really pretty hectic. Just giving you a bit more room from the other runways, I suppose. Yeah, exactly, flight. But it sounds weird.
Contact SoCal operation 128.1.
28-1, 53176.
Southwest 462, contact departure, good day.
Okay, so before we check in, we got a minute here.
Information. Clear visual, Clear visual,
visibility 10. 25,000 scattered.
Temperature
17. Traffic you're following is a FedEx 777 on a 4-mile final. More traffic in sight.
20 right.
We're pulling back now. Everybody
Departures, contact, clearance, delivery.
That FedEx is course heading, indicating
flight following is requested.
about 180 now.
Back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information number.
Information November. Okay. So now we'll check in. SoCal approach, Skyhawk 53176, 3000. We've got information November at John Wayne.
Scout 53176, SoCal approach, John Wayne, altimeter 3001.
01 53176, thanks.
Thanks, departure, Southwest 462 out of 6,600, climbing via feed 1.
Little is nice as you're the only one
departure, good evening, radar contact.
out there and can focus on flying and learning. Yep.
Departure 101 SIGINT, did you say there was
Thanks, flight. This was I was excited when this guy asked this question because
Departure 101,
I don't really think about it too often, really, because I'm so used to flying out of John Wayne that it's cool to actually think about what it would take to visit there. There's not like a good GA ramp. There's not like a transient that you can just pull up to and go get something to eat. There's a little bit more involved to it, but it's worth the effort. And if there's any, if this in any way gives anybody just a little bit more confidence to give it a shot, I think you'll find that John Wayne is one of the most exciting and rewarding airports to fly in and out of. And if you can do it, if you're close by and you can get in there, I recommend doing it because it can be a real blast. Even when it's at its like craziest and most.
Affirmative. Thunderbird 8, clear visual approach runway 26 right. 26 right, Thunderbird 8. Thunderbird 8, contact tower 120.6, good day. 2.6, Thunderbird 8. FedEx 258.
Yeah, the busy ones. If you can learn out of a busy airport, I think it makes you a better
Departure
pilot.
low, FedEx 258, 35, report.
So right here, yeah, SoCal is.
Thunderbird 8, Ontario Tower, wind 250 at 4, report break.
I mean, this is the busiest GA airport. Not the busiest. I mean, Van Nuys.
FedEx 258, heavy, fly heading 255.
If not a broke pilot, bigger airport equals more expense. Well, that's where John Wayne can be kind of intimidating because it doesn't really. There's no landing fee. You can get in there pretty.
FedEx 258 heavy, turn left heading 150 vectors, visual approach runway 26 right, Ontario.
All right, 150 on the heading, vectors visual, FedEx 250 heavy.
SoCal approach, Skyhawk 53176. We like to drop down to about 2,000 feet and hug the coast.
Skyhawk 53176, altitude your discretion, proceed to overfly Signal Peak, expect runway 26, correction, expect runway 20 left.
Okay, altitude our discretion, and we'll proceed direct Signal Peak for 20 left, 53176.
Thunderbird 8 reports break.
So we got the ATIS notification on 4-flight. We got it a little bit early.
101, roger. Taxi parking VSA Air, good night.
Oh, I see what you mean, armchair. Yeah. The actual the cost of operating. Yeah. It's pretty reasonable though. John Wayne is pretty reasonable. But you're right. I mean, bigger airports mean more populated areas, more popular prices end up going up. So it is one of the downsides, I guess, or the potential downsides. Like John Payne. Oh, it's my favorite.
53176, report John Wayne in sight.
Alright, we'll let you know we have John Wayne in sight, 53176. It is not going to be here, though. This is a little bit early for that direct Signal Peak call. It is correct. We would get proceed direct Signal Peak, but we probably wouldn't get it until maybe a little bit after Dana Point, which this is Dana Point Harbor right here. So like I said on the map at the beginning, when you see that GPS location for Dana Point, it's very noticeable. Way more so, I think, than Signal Peak. And Signal Peak, once you've seen it once, you'll always see it.
123 Sierra Golf, John Wayne, clearance delivery, standby.
Armchair, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome aboard officially, man. I appreciate that.
FedEx 258 Heavy, clear visual approach, runway 26 right.
All right, so there is Dana Point, and you can see the 5 corridor going up here. You can follow that. That'll take you to John Wayne as well. Otherwise, Dana Point, check that out, and you get this nice scenic arrival here. And I'll maybe pull this a little bit more offshore here, and at least for now, get rid of
runway
the
26 right, clear for the option on the go, make left, close traffic.
Try having a kid.
FedEx 258 Heavy, contact tower 120.6, good day.
That's awesome.
0.6,
Okay, another kind of like obvious tip is once you're on the final frequency, which you will probably be at your final frequency once you get to Dana Point, if not a little bit sooner. I got 19.9 dialed in. That is the 20 left.
November 123 Sierra Golf, John Wayne,
There's 19.9. It's possible if it's not very busy that they'll send you to 26.8, so be ready for a different frequency, but I have a feeling that it's going to be 19.9. Pilotage tends to be a little bit by the book, and they don't really close down frequencies. So then, you know, like in the real world, they consolidate the local 1 and local 2.
So there's 462, contact LA Center 134.
Okay, so we're now going to go direct signal peak, and it's kind of hard to see in the sim. That signal peak right there with the antennas. So that's where we're going to end up going, but I'm going to hug the coast a little bit here and then cut in.
258 on
but
Ontario
that
Tower,
will be a little bit easier to
Roger,
see
continue.
in the real plane when you're looking at it.
Start rate, runway 26 right, clear for the option.
Have 2 kids and then get your private. You're a good man, Ryan.
Airport 8, Ontario Tower, runway 26 right, clear for the option.
One time going into
258
Austin super late at night, we talked to the same controller all the way down to the gate approach center tower ground.
On the about
That's awesome.
mile and a half left downwind.
And on 4-flight, if you're having trouble locating where signal peak is,
November 123 Sierra Golf,
I can see it,
Santa Monica, Sierra,
which is part of the reason why I wanted to answer these questions in the sim, because you can actually see where it is. You can always go direct to, and you can get your own vector
calling John Wayne, clearance, say again.
if you need. So once we get past, this is downtown Laguna Beach.
John Wayne, clearance. Were you looking for just a
Right
radio
here,
call,
this little
or did you have a request?
cutout here, that's Laguna Beach. So once we get past Laguna Beach, I'm going to cut in direct to Signal Peak. We're at 2,500 feet, so we're at a reasonable, or at 2,000 feet, excuse me. So we're at a reasonable altitude to descend. We don't have to like dump it in too much.
Phenom 6, Mike Tango, register, standby.
Super pretty views. There is the Montage
Heavy.
restaurant is right there, or not restaurant, hotel is right there. That's a cool view. This is just a nice ortho, and even this is pretty looking.
Thunderbird 8, make left west traffic runway 26 left opposite.
Football field, that's Laguna,
Laguna
Beach. I think that's Laguna Beach High School, but that is a good indicator that you're getting close. There's Laguna Beach.
You got field in sight yet?
You can see that valley running up there.
Dog 53176, John Wayne Airport, 12 o'clock with 8 miles.
Okay, we're still obscured by the peak there, but we should be seeing it here in about a couple miles, 53176.
Roger.
So that you wouldn't, they don't have you report the airport in sight from here, but there's direct to Signal Peak. On 4-flight, you can see right there, we're facing right towards it. I can see the hangars out there.
676 Mike
I
Tango,
can
have
see the airport.
feet on 676 Mike Tango.
It's
On departure.
it's just up there, Neuromancer. It's not
Departure frequency 128.1.
nothing you gotta worry about.
5653.
Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this right now. Okay, so there is where'd the peak go? Where's the actual peak? Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Fit on 676 Mike Tango, read back correct.
So now we're probably going to get like a proceed direct UCI or something like that. So let's turn a little bit inbound here, and I'm going to report the airport in sight because we're going to get the airport. SoCal approach Skyhawk 53176. We have John Wayne in sight just before signal peak.
Skyhawk 53176, contact tower 119.9, radar service terminated. Good day.
All right, 199 53176. Good day.
Skyhawk 123 Sierra Golf. Not seeing that flight plan, but please verify you filed.
I'm going to turn off the autopilot for right now.
Stand by.
Done ready, going around.
Thunderbird 8, Roger, make left close traffic, runway 26 left.
Left traffic, done ready.
John Wayne Tower, good evening. Skyhawk 53176. Information November inbound signal peak. Full stop.
Skyhawk 53176, John Wayne Tower, enter left downwind, runway 20 left.
All right, left downwind 20 left 53176. They sometimes will have you report over UCI, so keep that in mind. This little complex right here is UCI. It's not really depicted very well, but
4676 Mike, contact ground 132.25.
it's right here. You can see we're gonna fly right over it. Oh, there's somebody in there that's going to UCI West. Ooh. That is probably a real world.
258 heavy, no need to acknowledge. There's the traffic at F16 and left close traffic, runway 26 left again, runway 26 right.
Okay, let's get the lights coming on here. Let's get ready for our landing. Pattern altitude is 850 feet. So it's an 800-foot AGL pattern roughly, and they really want you at that altitude.
Yep.
So 850 feet is the pattern altitude. Not 1,000, not 700. There are
Caution, TFR ahead.
Joe, thank you so much for the subscription, man. I really appreciate that.
Call 53176, wind calm, runway 20 left, clear to land.
Clear to land 20 left, 53176. So 850 feet. The reason why they're very strict about this pattern, because there are helicopters transitioning at 500 feet below you. There are possibly aircraft transitioning at 1,300 feet above you, and other helicopters. So hitting this pattern is important. If you can't, for whatever reason, fly that pattern, request a different altitude, and if they can accommodate, they will. But keep it tight. Don't fly out too far, and then remember the 15-degree offset. And I will do my best at flying a good pattern here. There's some buildings right here. This is MacArthur, the street that you see right here, and I try to hit that before turning downwind and not dissect it too much.
Look at it again and refile.
You can get in trouble by flying too far out. There's not a lot of places to land if you had an engine out this close to the field. So try to keep it tight. And then we're aiming for, on the downwind, we're aiming for that left hanger. And then starting the descent at the abeam the numbers. So this is kind of like, you know, however you fly your pattern, you know, it's fine, but John Wayne is just a little bit particular. Okay, 850, and let's turn downwind right now in between Jamboree and Von Carmen. Jamboree is this big road right there. I'm gonna just kind of be on Von Carmen, which lines up directly with that left blimp hangar, lined up with the blimp hangar. There's our airport. There's our ACI right there. Okay, holding 850. Holding 850, still aiming at
No, we're good here at
the hangar.
For Southwest Parking here.
Okay, so there's a beam. The numbers.
FedEx 258 Heavy,
Speed is
Roger,
okay. We're
Foxtrot,
actually
hold
kind of
short,
slow
runway
right
26
here.
left, traffic
First
at
notch of flaps
16
coming
overhead.
in.
Hold short 26 left, X258.
And there is a curved road. That's also MacArthur right there. And I want to dissect that curve right there.
Via Sierra, monitor ground on 120.6. Connect.
All right, ground 20.6. We're crossing at 16 left, and
Turn
Sierra,
now.
have a great night. FedEx 258 Heavy.
FedEx 258 Heavy, I'm sorry, I gave you my frequency. Monitor ground point now.
Druid, I'll answer that really quick once I land here.
Downwind ground 6 Tango.
Okay, so there is,
6 Tango,
we're dissecting that curve in the road there. Let's go, speed checks out
Starboard
just
8.
barely.
Check wheels down right.
And then turn final. This is really tiny short base. Almost no base. But there's no traffic, so we're fine. And this is about the offset. Go full flaps. So that's, you kind of dissect that, these 4 buildings right here. That's your offset. I am full power idle,
Let me know when you're refiled.
and it's still going to be
Yep, working on it. 123
pretty
Sierra Golf.
fast, thanks to the sim. Okay, now once we land, we're in no rush. That was pretty good on the center line. I'm going to taxi all the way down to hotel. There's Juliet. I can make Juliet, but I want this to be a little bit easier on myself. And the taxi diagram just popped up on 4Flight. Thank you for checking the flap speed. My pleasure, Flight. Is this sort of familiarity with the roads and building names a part of VFR that comes with flying a bunch at the same airport? Yes. Titanium Druid, that is a great question. And yes, it is. Especially at an airport like this where there's some weird quirks, and having those landmarks and knowing the area does help fly more consistently. Okay, so we're going to turn off to the left. Here's the ACI, so you can see it. It's right there, which makes this taxi really not that bad, especially if you taxi all the way down to hotel. So I'm going to stop right here. The run-up is right.
Skog 53176, taxi to parking via Alpha, monitor ground 120.8.
Okay, taxi via Alpha, monitoring ground. We're going to be over at ACI East 53176. He doesn't care, but I just wanted to say that. There is the run-up right here. So there's going to be planes that potentially could be cutting across you going down Charlie. So stopping short and not going too far is really important, because there could be aircraft coming across it. So let's go to the ground frequency, which is 20.8. And so what will actually happen sometimes is they'll be at like if a 737 was just landing, which almost always happens, they might have you pull into the run-up. So let's pretend that there's a 737 taxing down Alpha that just landed. So we're going to go into the run-up area. So Skyhawk 53176, turn right into midfield run-up and hold for Southwest 737 or something. So we're going to pull into the run-up right here. This is just a typical thing when you're on this side of the airport, so I wanted to at least talk about that. So we're going to stop here. We're going to wait for the Southwest 737 to taxi down Alpha.
123 Sierra Golf, Roger, standby.
So they taxi quick, so we're good. And we're going to pull up here. Now, I told him that we're taxed at ACI East. He's going to say, where are you parking? ACI East. And there's going to be marshalers that are probably going to bring you in right over here. This is the jet. Like, the jet guys come in right here, down that taxiway and this taxiway. The general aviation ramp, I guess you want to say, for ACI East is pretty much right here. Actually, that's not even it. It's one more row over. Yeah, it's this one over. It doesn't have the same, you know, array of planes that you would normally see. So this I think is the row. Yeah, I think this is the GA row. So there's going to be a marshal guide that's going to pull you in right here, like that. And
Southwest 78, SoCal approach. Good evening. The number altimeter 3004.
And let's turn everything off. Avionics off. Kill. Battery off. Did it not turn off the avionics? It didn't. It wasn't tied to the thing. Great. So now that's broken. And just let's see if I can show you on Google here. iPad very big. John Wayne. Let's let this thing think for a second. Come on. Thank you, Armchair. Have a great evening. Thanks for joining us. This thing's got to load a little bit quicker. Here's hotel. This is where you pull off. And this is the run-up. You can actually see on here, there's looks like a diamond waiting in there. So you might have to pull off into this run-up area if you've got a big jet coming down Alpha. So you exit the runway here just like we did. You can either taxi down, taxi straight ahead, or pull off into the run-up, which again is pretty likely. Once you're clear, you come through here, and what I say, it's the third one. This is a little bit different, it looks like, than the scenery, but you can see here that you've got the big jets, and then right here is about where the GA guys will be pulled in. And this is actually pretty light in terms of parking. So you pull right in here, and they'll marshal you in, and that's where we're at right here. Okay, there's going to be a bunch of planes around here, but this is where you will stop. Then you're going to go into the actual FBO, wiggle your way around all of the Gulf Streams and Embraers and all that stuff. We don't need the phone for the moment. And then you're going to come into the sliding glass doors right here and go into the actual FBO. And that's where you can pick up the crew car if you want. You can pick up an Uber. There's a nice drive right here, nice driveway, and you're good to go. Do whatever you want. You can take the crew car. You can go to Newport Beach. You could go to Balboa. You can go to Fashion Island. So just to give you some proximity to the airport, this is called the Back Bay right here. There's good restaurants around too. Like, just Google what kind of food you're into, and there's stuff that's around if you want to stay close to the airport. Otherwise, Fashion Island is right there. It's nice shops, pretty cool. There's Balboa Island. Nope, not there. There's Balboa Island. That's pretty easy to get to. Bunch of cute shops and restaurants. Actual Newport Beach is right there. So you've got a bunch of stuff around. They're just everything you can think of. And even like locally, just like down the street from the airport, it's not on this scenery, but across the street right here is a Starbucks. I don't think there's any other food right here, maybe. But there's some like fast food places and restaurants and stuff that are closer to the airport if you don't want to go too far. Again, crew car, Uber, walk, everything's really close. Let me check my question list. Red Roof Burrito. Oh yeah, that's right. I was like, Red Roof, not the Red Roof Inn, the actual El Torito. There's a couple of cool spots right here. That's El Torito, good Mexican place. That's I forgot what it's called. Gulliver's. That's a pretty famous place as well, or popular place, I should say. And those are just down the street, across from the terminal. So there's ACI, there's our plane, and here's the terminal. So it's not that far of a walk. You can walk it if you want. You've got 3 hours free parking. The other option, which is it's a little trickier to pull off if you're transient, is you can call ACI and tell them that you want to park on the east or on the west side, and they can stage you over here potentially to say, hey, I'm going to be just hanging out for an hour. There is a picnic spot that you can walk to, like a couple of tables right here, and I really like it. I'll actually show it here on the iPad. Yeah, the terminal's not too bad. It's pretty good size. So if you were parked on the west side, which is what the other side of the airport is called, you can still land 20 left, and then you'll just get taxi instructions across the runway. You'll park here, which is ACI West. So they might stage you along the wall there or something. But the picnic area, you just walk right over here through the GA parking, and that is the picnic area right there. So if you want to bring like a lunch and just experience the John Wayne craziness, come in and not have to leave the airport, you can come right here, and there's a bathroom, and you've got some picnic tables right there. So that's the other option if you didn't want to leave the airport and go through if you consider it a hassle of getting an Uber or the crew car. That's pretty much everything. And Stryker, if you have any questions on any of that are a little bit more detailed, let me know. But I think we've got parking, we've got approach, we've got pattern. Now we've got the departures, and this is the fun part. Okay. All right, so we're back at the plane. Let's get this thing flipped around. Let's pull back a little bit. All right. So we just had our nice lunch. We're back at the plane. And let's open up ForeFlight again here. Very big. Gonna go to John Wayne. I'm gonna come back to the John Wayne guide here. Now that I think about it, it's gonna screw up my windowed mode for a minute, but that's okay. All right, normal VFR departures. I'm going to zoom in here and see if I can't explain this coherently. There are 4 departures leaving John Wayne. There is the El Toro departure, which takes you into Irvine over the old El Toro.
Looking really good, Bill.
Thank you, Brad. The breadcrumb is what you're talking about, right? Right. Thanks. Well, and that's a good example of knowing the roads and what you're looking for. I mean, you can like line it up pretty easily if you just know what to hit. You got the El Toro departure, which is a heading of 080. You got a Newport departure, which is a heading 150. This takes you out, obviously, over Newport. You've got the Mesa departure, which is a 220, which also takes you out over Newport Beach, but a little bit more actual, like downtown Newport Beach and Huntington Beach Pier. And then you've got the Orange departure, which is a 330 departure. We're going to stick with the San Diego ops, but if you're flying anywhere else, you can pick any one of these. So the way that John Wayne will give you your heading for departure is one of three ways. You can tell them where you're. I can take that back. This is ocair.com, Neuromancer, and if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll include the link in the description. If you're not watching this on YouTube, it is just www.ocair.com, and then you go to the GA part at the bottom. This is an actual PDF. Actually, give me 1 second here. I think I should be able to post this if I go here, Streamlabs, send message, chat. Okay, that worked. Good. And back. So there's, I guess, one of four ways. This is kind of where it gets confusing because you have options based on what you're doing. So you can call up clearance delivery and say, I'm a Cessna, I'm going wherever. You name how you want to tell them. You can say an airport, you can say an area, you can say a direction. However you want to say that, they'll give you a departure. If you say, I'm a Skyhawk, I'm going to Long Beach, they'll probably give you the Mesa departure, fly 220, at or below, blah, blah, blah. You could say, departing to the north. They'll give you the orange departure, fly heading 330. You could say, I'm going down to Dana Point, I'm going to Palomar, and they'll work it out based on what they can give you or what they think is going to be more suited to your flight. Or you can say, I'm a Skyhawk, I want flight following to Palomar via the Newport departure. Then they'll give you the 150 heading. The difference with that is you can, technically the El Toro departure is quicker, but let's say you want to go down the coast and, and look at the, the waves and the surfers and all that stuff. And you want to specify which departure you want. I want flight following. This is a real world example. We were going to Big Bear. We wanted to be over the top to get over the cloud layer, and we needed time to climb before turning on to Big Bear. We would have normally gotten the El Toro departure and just climbed up over the mountains, but we wanted the Newport departure because we were going to depart due east, climb, and then come back. So we asked for the Newport departure because it's different than what we suspected the controller was going to give us. So you can specify based on your flight plan which departure you want. And that's up to, hey, we want to fly over Huntington Beach and then double back. So you could say, I want flight following to Palomar, but I want the Mesa departure. We're going to fly along the coast. Cool. 220, we're going to depart over 20 right, loop you underneath the arrivals or the departures or whatever. Stuff like that. So you can ask, they have the right to say that doesn't work, but you can ask for the name of the departure. You can also ask for the heading. That's the other way. So you can do general direction, actual airport, name of the departure, El Toro, Newport, Mesa, Orange, heading of the departure. I want the 150 heading, the 220 heading, or whatever. So that is kind of probably way too much information for just somebody that's visiting, but know that it doesn't have to be one way. They'll help you. They know if you're new or not. Just say, hey, I'm heading back to Palomar. They'll tell you what you want to do. But if you want to do something different, the point of me going through all this rambling crap is that you can do something different even if it's not necessarily the most logical departure based on, I want to go up the coast and come back down before heading to Palomar or something like that. So with that being said, this is what all the departures look like. And then here's an example. Pilots request radar services beyond. Pilots not requesting radar services beyond the surface area of the class Charlie may state local when requesting their departure. So that means that you don't want flight following once you're out of John Wayne. It'll terminate Upon exiting 5 nautical miles surface area of the class Charlie, pilots must remain clear of all other regulated airspace. Okay, so you can request negative flight following beyond the surface ring, but, you know, just always have flight following. That's crazy. It'd be crazy not to have flight following. But that's the departures. This is one of the spots you can find them. But be ready for your departure, because there are 4 pieces of information that you're going to get from clearance and delivery once once you've decided to give them a call. Okay. Yeah, Neuromancer, hopefully this is helpful. I really hope this is helpful. And I hope that if anyone's watching this on YouTube in the future, you've stuck around to this point. All right. Back to the sim, and I'm going to do this just because I kind of want to...
176, turn right, hotel, contact ground.
Right at hotel, contact the ground. See ya!
See ya, Neuromancer. Thanks, man. So we're going to go John Wayne, and we're going to go back to Palomar. So we just get our straight line. And you can see just by this line that if you were to take that, that 080 departure, let's just put that on there. That's a quick route to go. That works fine, but we want to go down the coast. So I'm going to take that point and I'm going to drag it here. And it happens to be roughly this little intersecting line right there. That's about a 150 heading. Jeez, that scared the crap out of me. Yeah, that would be fun flight. But, I mean, Microsoft 2020 should be able to do all this stuff too. So this is where that little bit of planning is good, because you can kind of see like, okay, well, what would it look like if we did the 220 heading, the 220 departure, and flew up over Huntington Beach and then came back, and you know, you can do that as well. Now I'm thinking about not going back to Palomar to get a different arrival into John Wayne, and the other typical arrival. And actually, I take that back. Let's do that. What's up, Nerd Bark? So I'm not going to go to Palomar. We're going to do... Let's do this. We're going to remove that. We're going to remove that. We're going to go John Wayne to just say Seal Beach. I mean, we could do the VOR. We're going to do Seal Beach. No, I don't think I like that either. I was going to we'll get negative flight following, I think. Okay. We're just going to fly up the coast, then we're going to come back so we can look at it from the other direction. We're going to clear this. Hopefully this will make sense. I really apologize if I just completely blew it, but I hope this will make sense. I'm going to get the plane started up quickly. I'm going to... No, I don't want that. I'm going to fix everything here. Nope, I think we're good. It's trying to auto start right now. I don't know if there's a good way to do this. Always get flight following. We're not going to get flight following. The only reason why I'm saying negative flight following is because I want to re-pick it back up and then re-enter John Wayne from the north. And I think that might be easier to do with no flight following. And now I'm rethinking that because I might be overthinking it. Yeah, we'll stick with flight following, and we'll just go up the coast. We'll just tell them we want to go up the coast and then come back. So this might be a little bit more of a cluster, but it at least will enable us to show the other arrival, the arrival from the north into John Wayne, north or west, I guess. Is this thing just completely gonna... Yeah, it is totally gonna flood itself. I'm gonna reset this. I accidentally hit the auto start and it's gonna go through its whole freaking stupid thing. Okay. All right. Okay, fuel is on both. Let's see if this thing will start, or did I completely ruin it all? Probably ruined it. Nope. Thank God. Okay. Alright, other than saying that we're just going to go up the coast, I will treat this as if we're departing to like Torrance or Hawthorne or something like that. Avionics coming on. Alright.
Percent 5 Bravo, runway 26 left, clear for the option.
Now we're going to get...
26 left and hold short
get ATIS.
Advise on initial contact. You have information, Oscar. John Wayne Airport, ATIS information, Oscar. 0253 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear. Temperature 16. Dew point 11. Altimeter 3003. Arriving and departing runways 20 left, 20 right. Visual approaches in use. VFR departures, contact clearance delivery, advise on course heading, altitude, and if flight following is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions.
Okay, that's so we got information, Oscar. We got the ATIS. Everyone's calm. Sky's clear. Sweet.
515 here, Echo.
Okay. I know these frequencies by heart.
515 here, Echo, St. Louis ground, runway 29 taxi by Alpha.
Which doesn't really help, but you got ATIS, you've got clearance and delivery, you got ground, you got tower.
Altimeter 3004.
Ground at John Wayne is always 20.8. Clearance will tell you to go to ground 20.8. There are two ground frequencies on here, 132.25 and 20.8. It'll be 20.8. Unless it's not, but it will be. And then tower is both sides. Local 1 is 26.8, so if it's quiet, they might combine them to 26.8. If it's busy, they might separate them to 19.9, 26.8. But ground, despite what you think, it's going to be 20.8. Clearance and delivery. Clearance and delivery is combined. 21.85 is the VFR, supposed to be the VFR clearance and delivery. 18.0 is the IFR one. Those are combined. It's the same. It's the same guy. If you call on 18.0, it's the same guy. If you were calling on 21.85, you just will actually be able to hear the IFR guys asking for their clearance. So it's a little bit easier to not step on other pilots. But technically, 21.85 is the frequency you should be on. So we're on 21.85 on the little screen here. I'm going to zoom in so you can see that 21.85 and 20.8. Clearance and delivery and ground ready to go. And I'm gonna just keep the iPad big for this part because there are 4 pieces of information that we're gonna get. And I try to write it like this. There's a heading, there's an altitude, there's a frequency, hertz, doesn't look like anything, and then there is the beacon code. Where's my beacon? That's terrible. So those are the 4 things that I'm going to be looking for. And if you know what you're asking for, again, you might not get it, so don't be so locked into writing down a heading thinking you're going to get something that you might not. But you really can. Unless you're getting the 080 departure, your altitude restriction is always going to be 2,400. If it's the El Toro, the 080, it's going to be 3,000. I know that I am not going to get the 080, so I can pretty confidently say that it's going to be 2,400 feet. Expecting sure is a double-edged sword. Yeah, it is. You should, I guess, like anticipate, but always be prepared, especially given how busy John Wayne is, that something might, you know, it could be a 230, or it could be fly runway heading, I'll call your turn. All that stuff has happened, but these are at least things that you can expect are going to be, that you can expect them to happen, but it's subject to change. So we're going to get our heading, we're going to get our altitude restriction, we're going to get our departure frequency, and we're going to get a beacon code. It sounds like a lot if you're a new pilot, if you've never been here before. It is very regimented how they do this. This is the one thing you can't expect. You're going to get these 4 pieces of information. So I can pre-write these in. Usually I pre-write them in, but we're just going to do this. Subject to change. That does describe aviation.
1120 right. The wind's calm, altimeter 3003. The sky's clear.
Roger, thank you so much for that. 619, we've got the latest information. Echo Golf.
Roger, also the temperature is at 16 and dew point 11, ability greater than 10 miles.
Thank you.
Joey.
Mike Tango, after departure, flight heading at 175, maintain VFR at or below 5,000. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 3701.
Roger, on departure, flight heading at 175. Maintain VFR below 5,000. Still call departure 128.1, squawk 3701.
I was wondering what that was.
You're back, correct? Or 3 Sierra Golf on departure.
Departure for 1230 Golf.
John Wayne clearance, Skyhawk 53176, VFR departure request. That departure guy is going to check in.
For 53176, John Wayne.
John Wayne clearance, Skyhawk 53176, Charlie 172 slant Golf, information Oscar, like flight following up the coast via the Mesa departure at 2,000 feet, please.
76, you have a destination?
We're going to come back. We just want to fly up the coast, and then we'll be returning back here, 53176. That's the conversation that you would have in real life, too. You'd ask the same thing.
1230 Golf, SoCal departure, radar contact. Climb maintain 6,000, say altitude leaving. For 531.6, after departure, fly heading 240, maintain VFR at or below 2,400. Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 3471.
Okay. On departure, that's right heading at 240 out of below 2,400 feet. Departure frequency 128.1, squawking 3471, 53176. We're parked over at ACI East.
53176, shoot back, correct.
John ground,
so the real John Wayne would say ground 20.8 for taxi. So they would tell you that. So right, yeah, so 240. It's really 220, but that's a good example of, you know, so it's slightly different, but there it is. So I'm going to bug 240. We're going to be at or below 2,400. So there's we can just remember that there's 2400 on the OBS, and then we're gonna squawk 3471. We'll put it on alt mode.
Sorry, which way goes traffic?
And we will put in the departure frequency once we're ready to go. Sometimes I'll put it in at the on COM 2, even though I'm not going to use it in COM 2, but I'll put it in COM 2. So just so you remember it, because there are going to be more different frequencies than 28.1. 24.1, 25.35, I think are some of them. Okay, so now we're on ground, 20.8, and let's get our taxi. The real John Wayne, all you got to say is where you are, the ATIS, and taxi. They will assume that you're going to do the run-up, and they will direct you to the run-up that you should be going to. It's going to be a midfield run-up, but Pilot Edge doesn't do that, so I kind of have to tell them I want to go to the midfield run-up. John Wayne Ground, good evening. Skyhawk 53176, information Oscar, ACI East, taxi, midfield run-up.
Five 3176, John Wayne Ground, taxi midfield run-up by Alpha, fast complete.
Midfield run-up via Alpha, we'll let you know when we're ready, 53176. Alright, cool. So we'll depart now out of ACI here. Probably have to wait for some jet taxiing back. So it might be 53176, give way to 737 on Alpha.
November 11 Kilo Mike request.
Caution jet blast
with
or
information
something.
Oscar for the I-2.
Okay, and here is the run-up on this side. Here's a run-up on this side. The other side is a little bit different, but this is likely the side that you'll be going into if you're visiting.
Radar vectors,
and we're going to pull into the run-up here and face the opposite direction on this one. If it's totally dead, then it's fine. Oh, actually, this is where I used to pull into when I was on this side.
Departure frequency 128.1, squawk 5635.
Made it a little bit easier. If you've got a 6-cylinder something and you need to face into the wind, you can obviously do that, but with the 172s, the smaller planes, everybody all faces this direction. It makes it so much easier because of this intersection. So we're going to do our run-up. Everything's good. Free and correct. Mags look good. Okay. Now the trick here is I'm going to zoom in on the taxiway diagram here. You can see that we went from Alpha, and now we're looking at we've got hotel across us. So instead of our taxi being Alpha Hotel Charlie Kilo, Lou Minerator, thank you very much for following. Welcome. We are going to be just on Charlie Kilo. So it takes out some complexity to this taxi, which if you don't do your run up here and you do it on the other end, you've got Alpha Hotel Charlie Kilo as your taxi. And that's kind of a mouthful. But if you go in the midfield run up, you pull in here, you face this direction, you've got Alpha to midfield run up, and then you got Charlie Kilo to the runway. But we're going to depart from the right side because of the heading that we're on. We're going to be at a 240, which is a right turn, so we're going to try to sneak onto the big runway for this departure. John Wayne Ground, Skyhawk 53176. We're ready to continue. I'd like to depart 20 right if able.
Right, DT Juliet Hotel, Canada SoCal approach, 119.6. Aircraft 3176, John Wayne Ground, runway 20 right, taxi via Charlie Kilo, cross runway 20 left.
Alright, Charlie Kilo 20 right, crossing 20 left, 53176. Now we're going to be departing from the right side, the big runway, and we therefore know that the frequency that we're going to be on is 26.8 because that's the local one for the big runway, but it's also the combined runway. So if you are departing from the left side, it could be either 19.9 or 26.8. If you're departing from the right runway, it's always going to be 26.8.
Thanks for the whiskey.
And right about here, they might tell you monitor tower, contact tower when you're en route, but we're fine now. We got the crossing instruction already, which you wouldn't get in the real world, but we're coming down. Charlie here. This parallels Alpha, which is where the big jets are on that side.
Southwest 824, Josh approach, Palmdale, altimeter is 3013. Southwest 824.
Man, I hope this isn't too long. I was worried like this either should be overly produced and like really tight, or you know, hopefully this is a good stream at least for you guys that are watching. I don't usually have a purpose this defined for a stream, so hopefully this like is a good combination of flowing nicely as a stream, but also condensed enough with information about John Wayne to make it worth it. So, okay, so we got the strobes coming on.
Approaching runway 20 left.
Clear to the left.
Entered runway 20 left. 2,500 feet remaining.
Charlie Golf Hotel 5 shot Oscar, upside ground, runway 27, taxi via Alpha Charlie.
There's the diagram version of what we're doing here.
Alpha Charlie.
And now we're going to hold short here.
November 1 kilo Mike, John Wayne ground yard frequency.
Okay, so 26.8. Now that we're holding short,
Hey, 1 kilo Mike, I got a slight amendment to your route advisory.
26.8. And we're going to go to 28.1.
Change heading 175 to read, flight heading 230.
28.1 is the SoCal departure, or SoCal approach frequency. So there's 20.8. Once you're holding short, flip to tower from ground if you're not already. Get in the departure frequency in there, and now we're ready to go.
I just realized I haven't done the I-2 yet, but I'm still going to fly this route right now. So.
I want to make Roger, back correct, thanks. And yeah, this is the I-3, so you have to die to before you get the I-3, but if you want to still fly this, that's fine.
Yeah, we're going to proceed with that 1 kilo Mike, thanks.
Red.
John Wayne Tower, Skyhawk 53176, holding short 20 right at kilo.
53176, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right at kilo, clear for takeoff, WindCom.
Clear for takeoff 20 right at kilo, 53176. Okay.
Approaching runway 20 right.
Lights, camera, action. 240 heading. We're clear to the right, clear to the left. They try to get you off on the right side if you're departing on either the Mesa departure or the Orange departure. So let's roll out onto the center line. And realize that your directional gyro is not set correctly, so
1,500 indicated type unknown, altitude unverified, should be no factor.
Here's 20 up there. Okay. Possibly Chinese, good evening. Airspeed is way alive. Holy crap, you let that one.
Just be advised you're not clear to the Bravo, so remain outside the Bravo airspace. I just want
no, we can early turnout, and they'll usually say early turnout is approved, so we don't have to wait till the departure into the runway. They want you out of there quickly. So we're going to turn right over the museum,
off the shoreline, and remain below the Bravo
and there
airspace.
is 240. I wanted 2,000 feet, but I'm restricted to 2,400. So we're just going to kind of see how this thing climbs out.
53176, radar contact, can I still cut departure?
Going to departure, 53176. Now look at that trace right there. You can see it's just, you take off and you turn onto your heading.
Opposite direction, 6,600 indicated time button down.
Looking for the traffic, 123 Sierra Golf.
SoCal approach, good evening, Skyhawk 53176, 1000, restricted 2400. Did we get...
SoCal 123 Sierra Golf has traffic in sight.
3 Sierra Golf for Roger. 53176. SoCal departure. Cancel altitude restriction, resume on navigation.
Oh, now 53176. We're just going to hug the coast to just south of Long Beach and then head back.
Give it a big old bear hug. 123 Sierra Golf, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
135.4.
Be sure Sierra Golf time, please.
Sierra Golf.
This is pretty early to be restricted. Usually they'll send you out to the coast. We're gonna just
Roger, we'll be looking for traffic just
get up to 2,000.
30 o'clock.
Yeah, 3 o'clock now. Alright, thank you. November set on Charlie, left on the ground runway 24, taxi via Alpha. Mark 61805, contact St. Louis Tower 124.0.
okay.
Tower 124.0.
Well, I'll talk about the approach from the north
contact SoCal approach
in a second.
134.2.
SoCal approach 123 Sierra Golf 6,000.
Approach good evening, Southwest B24.
Look at that little buddy.
Southwest 824, SoCal approach, bank altimeter 3003.
So that's the coast.
The RNAV Zulu runway 8 approach.
And let's turn down the coast.
Okay, we have Yankee and expect RNAV Zulu Southwest 824.
Now he might, in the real world, you might get ONAV. That ONAV call where we got it, but he might say cancel altitude restriction, resume O navigation at the coast or something like that. But all of that stuff is like not really that unique and stuff that, you know, if you've been flying around SoCal, you've probably heard something like that, you know. Turn at the 4 stacks, turn at the basin, turn at the river, make turn at the coast. I feel like that's a pretty typical call.
135.4 CS.
FedEx 355, contact Lambert Tower 18.3.
18.3.
So this is, you can see our breadcrumb for leaving. Right, there's the departure heading, kind of finding our way there.
135.4.
Flying up the coast. There's the Huntington Beach Pier. This is the waypoint on the way in, which we're flying just directly over. Right there. Pretty easy to spot when you're coming down the coast, and we will replicate that. And I don't know if Brandon is the controller. I don't know if the controller is aware of the crossing over the control tower procedure, but you'll be told cross over the control tower at or above 1,300 feet, enter a left downwind for 20 left.
SoCal approach, good evening, November 606, Mike Tango, descending passing through 4,500 for 2,900.
For 616, Mike Tango, SoCal approach, Ontario, altimeter 3003, Golf is current. Advise when you have that, expect runway 26 left.
Roger, we have Golf and we got the altimeter, and you said...
Alright, so there we're outside of the airspace. We're outside of John Wayne airspace. Jesus, stupid chair.
676, Mike Tango, flight present heading, vectors for a left base, runway 26 left.
Windcom. Visibility 10. Sky condition.
For 767 Charlie Lima,
Temperature
4
16.
tower, runway 24, clear for takeoff.
Altimeter
Wind
3003. Arriving and departing runways 20 left.
1230 golf,
right.
signal approach, Ontario, altimeter 3003,
VFR
connectivity
departure,
dollars.
contact, clearance, delivery. Advise on course
3003, and we've got Quebec in there.
Following is requested.
123
Read
Sierra
back
Golf.
all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Oscar.
Okay, so Oscar is still current. All right, we're down the coast a ways. Little iPad here. We're outside of the ring. We're clear of the airspace of the shelf as well. We're under both of these Charlie shelves, but we're clear. We're clear of them laterally as well. So in this case, we're gonna mimic coming, like we're arriving from John Wayne from the north.
For 6 Mike Tango, turn left heading 340.
So I'm gonna turn off autopilot.
Left 340, 6 Mike Tango.
For Charlie Golf, Delphi, should Oscar kind of still got a departure.
Visibility's turning to crap. We're gonna see right when he checks in with this guy here.
Charlie Golf, Delphi, shot Oscar, still got a departure, radar contact. I'm maintaining 4,000.
SoCal approach, Skyhawk 53176. I have information Oscar over Seal Beach. We'd like to return to John Wayne.
53176, proceed 2 miles square park.
Okay. Proceeding to Mile Square or 53176. They don't really use.
Proceed 2 miles square park.
I proceed to Mile Square Park 53176.
767 Charlie Lima, kind of still got a departure.
Caution, TFR ahead.
Number 676 Mike Tango, the airport to your 9:30, 10 o'clock, and 6 miles port side.
See, there's Mile Square. We're gonna head.
For 6 Mike Tango, enter the left base, runway 26 left, countdown Ontario Tower 120.
They haven't been using Mile Square very frequently. They've been using the pier. It doesn't really change much of this, but you can get both. But the more likely one is going to be Mile Square.
Climb and maintain 5,000.
Climb maintain 5,000.
So let's see if we'll get the crossover.
Hotel over Mount Soledad.
Or we can at least like
Over 767 Charlie Lima on that heading intersect
we
with your 8
can
resume
coordinate it or request it as well.
Victor 8 resume navigation 7 Charlie Lima.
Number 61805, runway 29er, clear to land.
Visibility sucks.
Number 5150, Echo, extend your downwind, I'll call your turn. Traffic is the 172 on a 3 mile final on the RNAV.
Okay, I'll 824, we clear Tyler.
Yeah, the bundle over each other, yeah, stand by. Right to Juliet Hotel, cleared into the Lindbergh, San Diego Bravo airspace, contact Lindbergh Tower 18.3.
Cleared into the
Really?
Bravo over
Oh,
to
man, I
Tower
missed it.
118.3 to Juliet Hotel.
Flight, can you type in !" Discord?
6355, thanks, cargo via Bravo, this chick will see you nice day.
I started a mess.
6355, Bravo
Thanks,
to the ramp,
Possible.
this chick will see you, have a nice day.
If you would also like to join,
Number 5150,
The
Echo,
mess.
traffic ahead and to your
Click
left
that
on
way.
2 miles on the final on the RNAV for 29 with 172 report in sight. 50 Echo, turn behind that traffic number 2, runway 29 are clear for the option.
all right, Druid, have a great night. Thanks for
Southwest
joining.
824, turn right heading 250.
Right 250, Southwest 824.
50 Echo, driven aircraft.
There's Mile Square.
November 123 Sierra Golf, contact SoCal approach on 134.2.
134.2 for 123 Sierra Golf.
For 6 Mike Tango, runway 26 left, clear to land. For 53176, John Wayne Airport to your 2 o'clock, 6 miles port.
Airport inside 53176.
53176, contact John Wayne Tower 126.8.
268 53176. Yeah.
Charlie, Golf Hotel Foxtrot Oscar, safe approach request and advise you have the weather.
Golf Golf Code Information Alpha and requesting the VOR Alpha.
For Charlie Golf Hotel Foxtrot, expect.
What's up, Striker? We're at the tail end here, but hopefully got some good info for you, man.
Pomona at 4,000, clear for the VOR Alpha approach to San Gabriel Valley Airport. Expect the straight, expect a circle for runway 19er and report once you're established inbound to the airport.
Cross Pomona at 4,000, cleared for the VOR Alpha. Expect runway 19 and I'll call when established on the inbound. Charlie Golf Hotel Oscar.
Lumber Tower.
I can't.
Julie Hotel.
Yeah, it is super hazy today.
Julie Hotel, Limburg Tower, or right.
Happy New Year, Dave.
27 clear to land.
Right base for 27 clear to land to Julie Hotel.
Southwest 824, turn left direct.
It's getting busy, man.
Maintain 4,000, join the final.
John Wayne Tower, I think November 11 Kilo Mike, holding short 20 right for IFR with Oscar.
I think 11 Kilo Mike, John Wayne Tower, my 20 right, clear for takeoff, Windcom.
20 right, clear for takeoff, 1 Kilo Mike.
John Wayne Tower, Skyhawk 53176 over Mile Square Park with information Oscar, requesting 20 left.
53176, John Wayne Tower, enter left base, correction, or right base, runway 20 left, clear to land. Caution, traffic part on the right side of the Navig.
We'll look out for that traffic, and I'd like to request crossing over the control tower at above 1,300 feet for a left downwind, if that's possible, for 20 left.
53176, cruise requested, just use caution for that traffic parting 20 right.
Okay, we'll keep an eye out for that traffic, 53176. Thanks. That's so important. It's busy right now. Like, he's busy, and I kind of stopped talking there for a little bit to make sure I didn't miss my chance. But the key with John Wayne is that it can get very busy like this. When it's not busy, from here, you might be able to get a right base into 20 left. But more than likely, you're going to get a cross over the control tower at or above 1,300 feet, enter a left downwind for 20 left. So we're entering from Mile Square Park, and we're looking for the control tower. It's kind of small, but it doesn't have to be exactly over the control tower. But we're gonna aim for it, and we're gonna be at or above 1,300 feet. We're not going to be below. There's some hazards to this. One of which being a 737 or a G650 doing a go-around. So if there's traffic on final that we need to be aware about, we have to be on the lookout for that. And it's not 2,300 feet, Ryan. As I said before, there's a difference between a 1 and a 2.
General aviation parking.
And Ryan, yes, Striker was the one that was asking.
Charlie,
okay.
Appreciate it.
I don't see.
Yeah, you did a good job watching out for the airspace. Just to make sure you don't get too close to the Bravo. You almost took the Bravo last time on the way into San Diego, but you did fine. Just make sure you watch for that really closely. It's super duper important.
Haze has lifted a little bit.
Had a problem redoing that.
There's 1,300 feet. There is our airport. And basically, once you're over the control tower, you can kind of start the descent, or over midfield. You can start the descent. So here's our over midfield. We're at 1,300 feet, and it's an 850 foot pattern. So he's slotting us in, but we still have to dump a lot of altitude quickly. So there's the first notch of flaps. I'm going to start making the turn to the downwind here. It's kind of like coming in a teardrop, yeah. And then I'm going to get the second notch of flaps in here just to get a little bit more of a descent. But you can see that we're not yet above the abeam the numbers. So where you cross over helps out. If you cut it too close to the approach end, you can make this part trickier. But we're still at 1,000, and now we're at the freeway. The real plane is much easier to get brought, you know, to
Mike Tango off runway 26 left.
flying over midfield like that has to be so cool. Dude, it's really cool.
67 Charlie Lima, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
It is really cool.
135.35.4. Or 6 Mike Tango, tax 5 Sierra. Sierra, around. Good day, 6 Mike Tango.
So that, that adding that second notch of flaps earlier kind of helped out. I think we're able to maintain 70. We're right over that little curve in MacArthur.
500.
There are the 4 buildings.
Burbank Tower, South 624 is on Zulu 8.
There's the offset.
Southwest 624 Burbank Tower.
We're coming in hot now.
Land wind
Thanks to the rep pack.
Runway clear to land, Southwest 824.
Caribbean 15 Bravo, what's your request?
I don't think we're going to make Juliet.
Caribbean 351, Charlie Bravo, go ahead.
I'm going to try to make Juliet. So I don't want to have to back taxi too much. That guy needs a new mic.
1 Charlie Bravo, do you want the CAT 11? 1 Charlie Bravo,
Max braking.
Cleared out of Los Angeles Bravo airspace, flight runway heading, maintain VFR at or below 3,000. Departure 125.2, squawk 4352.
Got him. Max braking did it.
Class Bravo, flight runway heading, departure 135.2, squawk 4.
Strobe off.
1 Charlie Bravo.
Okay, now we're going to depart to the south.
St. Louis Tower, 515 Sierra Echo.
5 Sierra Echo, St. Louis Tower, runway 29 clear for the option.
Runway 29 clear option, 5 Sierra Echo.
November 351 Charlie Bravo, you're back correct. Or Charlie Golf Hotel Foxtrot Oscar. Roger, you can contact El Monte Tower now.
CRQ. And we are going to get our departure here in a minute.
767 Charlie Lima, SoCal approach, Ontario, altimeter 3003. Advise you have the weather noted at the table. And what's your approach request? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, this is the rep pack aerator, so, and it does sound really good.
7 Charlie Lima, stand by for the vectors to final. I'll work on that. For now, expect direct to hump, and I'll try to pull the final approach course up. And turn, 7 Charlie Lima, vectors to final, turn left, heading 300. 7 Charlie Lima, I'll see if I have my approach course pulled up. Stand by.
Give him just a second here.
San Luis ground, November 978 Alpha Papa. For 978 Alpha Papa, yeah, just about to get to you now. What's your request?
We're going to go VFR north departure off the active. We're coming off of taxiway Charlie to the hangars with information Alpha.
Right Alpha Papa, or runway 29er, taxi by Alpha.
Alpha to 29er, 9 reverse 78 Alpha Papa, thank you.
Jowing Tower, Skyhawk 53176, clear 20 left at Juliet. We like back taxi and departure, Newport departure. Can we coordinate that with you?
53176, yeah, I'll get that to you at the end of the runway. Runway 20 left, taxi via Charlie Kilo.
All right, Charlie Kilo, and we'll coordinate the departure at the end, holding short, 53176.
53176, when you hold short, just stand by and I'll get back to you. You're going to have to tell me the request. You can't know in a minute.
Okay, roger that, 53176.
For 1 Kilo Mike, can I call approach?
He's busy. That is perfect. Perfect.
For 7 Charlie Lima, do you want the approach from
they
or
don't mind this at all. I heard some conflicting reports that they don't really like departing aircraft to coordinate with the tower. If it's not very busy, you can either hold short, you can pull off into the run-up, coordinate with clearance, and then come back on when you're ready, or sometimes tower will just can coordinate with you as well. So again, we have the 4 pieces of information that we need, and then we're good to go. And we already know 3 of the 4, and this will be a good example of when you can anticipate something and save yourself some hassle here. Be prepared that if he gives you something different to scribble out what you wrote, but we're going to be turning left heading 150 because this is the Newport departure. It's not the El Toro, so it's going to be 2,400 feet. Our departure frequency, now this is a little bit different. Pilot edge, we know it's 128.1. If you were really, I don't even remember all the departure frequencies, but if you flew this airport a lot, you would even know which frequency you'd get, and now we're just waiting for the beacon code. But we know 150 at or below 2,400 feet.
123 Sierra Golf, contact Santa Monica Tower 120.1.
St. Louis Tower, 515 Sierra Echo, clear runway 29er on Echo.
515 Sierra Echo, taxi ran by Echo, remain this frequency, have a nice evening. Was that for the Cat 3?
Yes it was.
Well, you passed.
Thank you.
Santa Monica Tower, 123 Sierra Golf.
For 123 Sierra Golf, Santa Monica Tower, wind calm, runway 21, clear to land.
Alright, wind calm, runway 21, clear to land, 123 Sierra Golf.
Southwest 824, it appears that you have found your way to the terminal. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a good night. Nice job with all that, Southwest 824.
Joey Tower, Skyhawk 53176, holding short 20 left at Kilo whenever you're ready.
Aircraft funnels on landline, say again.
That's John Wayne Tower, Skyhawk 53176, holding short 20 left, ready to copy clearance whenever you're ready.
53176 for the Newport to where?
Yeah, we like the Newport departure, flight following to Palomar at 2,500. We've got information Oscar 53176.
53176 after departure, fly heading 150 and maintain VFR at or below 2,400 until advised. Departure 128.1, squawk 3471.
3471. Makes it much easier. On departure, that's left heading 150 at or below 2,400 feet. Departure frequency 128.1, squawking 3471, 53176. Oh, this is
you're back, correct. You ready to go?
This is Brandon. I will need probably 30 seconds to before we're ready. 53176.
Roger.
Santa Monica Tower, 123 Sierra Golf. We
So
have the runway
we've got their gyro there, and then we've got 150, 2,400 feet,
Sierra Golf,
and 3471. Look at that. 3471.
It makes no difference to me.
Bink. Love it.
All right, we'll keep the IFR, 123 Sierra Golf.
Yeah, Brandon's awesome. He's been, he controls a lot.
Charlie Golf, Charlie Golf, have a nice day.
Everybody at once.
Officials ground, November 351, Charlie Bravo, 854, signature,
Okay, so this is our departure is roughly going to be that.
Charlie Bravo, LA ground, turn transponder on.
And straight down. Very easy.
San Luis Tower, November 978, Alpha Papa, ready for departure.
Number 767, Charlie Lima, turn left heading 270. Madison out, Papa San Luis Tower, what's your direction of flight?
That was not a bad pattern either, Ryan.
Papa, runway 29, clear for takeoff,
Check that out.
Clear for takeoff, right turn, November 978, Alpha Papa.
John Wayne Tower, Skyhawk 53176, ready to go, holding short 20 left at Kilo.
Number 53176, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 left at Kilo, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 20 left at Kilo, 53176. Lights, camera.
Santa Maria ground, Cessna Skyhawk 8823 Juliet.
Let's go soft field.
At transient parking near the tower.
Approaching runway 20 left.
Crosswind departure with information.
Entered runway 20 left.
Cleared
2,500 feet remaining.
Turn left, heading 310. Correction.
Full back pressure.
310, instead of maintain 5,000.
Power on. This is the new rep pack update, and it is terrible with this slow speed. Like, look at that. Now we're up. It just like pops up all of a sudden. Speed build. Did take off.
El Monte Tower, Charlie Golf, Delta, Oscar down 9 at
and we're
Delta.
Number 767, Charlie Lima.
And departure into the runway.
turn right,
and we
heading
turn
050,
immediately once we hit the
3100
departure
to
lane.
establish final approach
And
course
this one,
cleared.
we can go
The
directly to
RNAV
150.
runway 6
If we were going to
approach
the
into Airport.
0801, we'd want to keep roughly this heading. There's some buildings out there that don't pop up that are part of, or there they are now. That is kind of your 15-degree offset cue if you're doing the 080 departure or staying in the pattern. But this one, we're just departing straight out on the 150 heading.
050 heading.
And we're just going to hold this basically until we reach the coast.
1 Strike Bravo, LA ground, runway 25 left, taxi via Alpha and Foxtrot. Alpha, Foxtrot, 1 Charlie Bravo. 7 Charlie Lima, the heading is 050 and the altitude is 3,100. What you're holding right now?
Checking.
Del Monte Tower, Charlie Golf Hotel, Fox Oscar.
Charlie Golf Hotel, Foxtrot, Oscar, I'm on the ground.
Del Monte Tower, Charlie Golf Hotel, Oscar, 9 Delta.
I was pretty close on that departure. You can
Charlie
see
Golf Hotel, Foxtrot,
pretty close to that 150.
That's the ramp on the frequency.
It's not important to know that, but it helps when you know what
Santa
to
Maria ground, Cessna Skyhawk 8823 Juliet. At transient parking, request right crosswind departure with information Sierra.
So we'd be switched over to SoCal by now.
Number 8823 Juliet, Santa Maria ground, runway 30,
in the real
taxi
world,
via Alpha.
but timing again varies as well.
Runway 30, taxi via Alpha 8823 Juliet.
Denver 1 to the
Tower,
Mike,
what's
from
Sierra Golf? We're off the runway at Bravo 3.
280 to the maintained 4,000. Three vectors ILS, runway 8 approach. Runway 8 ILS approach.
2,400 restriction.
Santa Monica Tower, 123 Sierra Golf. We're off the runway at Bravo 3.
Or 3 Sierra Golf, taxi to the ramp 5 Bravo, Pleasant.
Pull up. Taxi to ramp 5 Bravo. 123 Sierra Golf.
Arrow Raider, thank you. Arrow Raider, thank you for the follow.
You don't need to cancel your IFR on the RNAV coming into Santa Monica or something like that. It's a controlled airport. It helps if you're going to like a controlled airport or something, but for you, honestly, it's just safer and more efficient to go ahead and keep your IFR.
Very pretty scenery.
You get guaranteed traffic and terrain.
There's Pelican Hill.
The system is easier for people to deal with you. We're all, in that instance, better just to go ahead and keep it. It's just an extra step you have to do.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. It's just the I-4 said to do a visual. That's why I was asking about canceling it.
Oh, it was just saying you can request a visual since all the other ones already had approaches to them. You don't have to do a visual. And a visual approach is still an IFR procedure. Like you still have to get cleared for a visual approach. Canceling IFR doesn't make it a visual approach. It makes you VFR at that point. Visual approaches are for instrument aircraft.
Okay, roger that. Appreciate the tip.
For 1 Kilo Mike, turn right heading 050, going to local lab.
Giant Tower Skyhawk 53176, 2,300.
53176, radar contact, kind of departure.
Departure 53176. SoCal Skyhawk 53176, 2,300, restricted 2,400.
53176, SoCal departure, on navigation, cancel altitude restriction.
ONAV and altitude is 53176. We'll be going up to 2,500 on the coast.
For 1 Kilo Mike, make it a 060 heading.
So he's just busy.
Maintain 4,000 still established.
We would have been let go pretty quickly. Usually when the tower does the radar, the altitude check, I'm usually between 600 and 900 feet. So they're pretty quick on getting you off of their frequency. You'll never get brought out this far. Brandon's just very busy.
767 Charlie Lima, you established okay?
Established on... okay, 7 Charlie Lima.
We can get up to 2,500. That altitude really isn't that important as long as we're below 3,000. But 2,000 feet is actually pretty nice altitude, cruising over the beach here.
In the air, this frequency on the ground by the flight
sort of on the ice.
Roger, can we request a no approach or missed approach on this approach, 7 Charlie Lima?
For 7 Charlie Lima, you don't have to request that, just report only missed.
Roger, 7 Charlie Lima.
Baseball 123, thank you for the follow. Welcome.
Light tower, runway 25 left, clear for takeoff. Enough pop, go ahead. Nope. One kilo Mike, kind of a tower. 18.7.
Well, that
18.7.
that pretty much answers all of the questions. So while we're cruising down here to Palomar Firewalled, flight you would like Brandon a lot. He's awesome.
3206.
So we've got the breakfast lunch question. We've got the transient GA parking, not really transient, but the GA parking. Protocols and etiquettes for the run-up areas. We talked about that. We got the approach into Class Charlie Airport, 20-ish miles out, but realistically you're going to be on flight following anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Just don't enter their airspace, and you can pretty much call them, approach your appropriate approach, and then head in, but just be on flight following, basically. We talked about Beacon Hill, or Signal Peak, sorry, not Beacon Hill. Signal Peak in Laguna Beach area, but expect whatever, and that's if you're coming up through the coast. If you're coming in from the I-5, you're probably also going to get Signal Peak. Very rarely will you get like a left base. So Signal Peak if you're coming from the south, Huntington Beach if you're coming from the north, Miles Square if you're coming from directly north, like Fullerton, basically. And then crossing over the control tower at or below 1,300 feet, enter left downwind for 20 left. So we talked about that. The pattern altitude is 850 feet. That's an 800-foot AGL pattern. I think it's really 810, but it's 850-foot pattern altitude. We talked about the departures. You've got the Newport, the El Toro, the Mesa, and the Orange. You got 080 for the El Toro, 080 at or below 3,000. Newport, 150 at or below 2,400. Mesa departure is really a 220. Pilot Edge usually do 240. So 220 at or below 2,400. And then the Orange departure is 330 at or below 2,400. The Mesa and the Orange, they'll typically try to get you off on 20 right, so you're not crossing over traffic. The Newport and the El Toro, if you're a GA plane, they're going to send you off on the left side almost every time. I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I departed and I fly on the right side, or I park on the right side. I've always crossed. Not that it can't happen, but it's rarely happened. So we talked about the departures. I would expect the easiest since most GAs with departures are left. Yeah. What's up, Verdi? Happy New Year. Any other gotchas? A bunch, but none of them necessarily unique to John Wayne that I can think of that you wouldn't necessarily expect from another busy airport of its type. Though we pretty much talked about everything that is unique. The 15-degree offset, they're not going to shoot you out of the sky if you don't fly a 15-degree offset, but they will tell you fly the offset. Heard you earlier into... Oh, did you really, Verdi? Nice, man. That's awesome. So that pretty much sums up everything you might need to know visiting John
Okay,
Wayne.
approach 7 Charlie Lima. We
And
establish on that
I'm
RNAV
really
for runway
thankful
26.
that
Would you like us to switch
that
to Unicom?
Stryker
or
asked
back
that question in the Discord because
I actually gave that to you a while ago.
it's
advisory frequency the crew.
something that I'm not used to thinking about as somebody based out of John Wayne, and as somebody that wants to get more people to fly into John Wayne. I kind of, it's good to refresh what you would do if you were visiting, because it's a super fun airport, and any I don't want to say misconceptions, but any hesitation about flying in there, I think you know, should be is misfound, I think, because if you just read some of the material and understand what you got to do, maybe watch a couple videos, it's really not that bad. Really not that bad. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got regarding it. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of stuff, though. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you've gotten all the way through this, bless you. And let me know if you have in the comments, please, because if that was helpful in any way, I would love to know. And if anybody wants to fly into John Wayne, send me a message, because that would be cool to meet up with anybody at the airport that in any way used any of this information to do that. I would enjoy that a lot.
Hotel approach Central 767 Charlie Lima going missed out of
Let's see what we got to do to get into
Paradise.
Palomar now.
7 Charlie Lima.
Or 767 Charlie Lima, idea.
Ident, 7 Charlie Lima.
Hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact that you have information hotel.
Okay, we got the weather at Palomar.
767 Charlie Lima. Radar
We've got
contact,
hotel.
Clear T Paradise.
That's all we need.
Hold northwest. Next step with the clearance in 10 minutes. Stay attention.
Stay on hold, and then we'd like to request ILS approach to Riverside, 7 Charlie Lima.
7 Charlie Lima, roger. And 7 Charlie Lima, climb maintain 5 down.
Climb maintain 5, 7 Charlie Lima.
How you doing there, Bobble Bill?
November 1 Fly Bravo. Resume on navigation. Contact SoCal approach 128.1.
Our navigation at 128.1 below 128.
Santa Barbara approach Cessna Skyhawk 8823 Juliet.
God, that guy's mic is so bad.
351 Fly Bravo, SoCal departure, John 1 altimeter 3005.
3005, 121.
We're 7 Charlie Lima, clear direct Paradise.
Clear direct Paradise, 7 Charlie Lima.
Yeah, Papa, once you're leaving the Delta, you're going back without a change. Oh, thanks, appreciate it. For 1 to the mic, thanks for by Charlie.
If you guys do like these videos, be sure to smash that thumbs up button. Also subscribe to the channel.
Thank you, and this video has been brought to you, unbeknownst to him, by Steve-O. ATIS alert on
Denver
4 flight.
53176, on that circle approach, 19.6.
Oh man, we're gliding distance. We're good to go. Oceanside Airfield is a fun little field to check out too. Coming up to the left. Is it not Bob Maxwell, is it?
2670.
I thought that was
Santa Barbara
not,
approach, Cessna 823 Juliet request flight following to Bakersfield.
Denver 8823 Juliet, squawk 2670.
Squawk 2670.
Nice open highway. Perfect spot to land right on the 5.
What are your intentions after the hold?
Could you repeat that last call for 7 Charlie Lima?
For 7 Charlie Lima, what are your intentions after the hold?
We'd like to request the ILS for Riverside, runway 09, 7 Charlie Lima.
For 7 Charlie Lima, Roger, I have your request. Your expected their clearance at 0437 Zulu. Time now is 0416 3/4.
But honestly, thank you guys for joining me tonight. I'm thinking about Tuesday, Thursdays as a schedule. I think I heard about that one, Striker. How far? Where was it? It was close, pretty close to you, wasn't it?
Brian 3176 was approach. If you hear this transmission idea. Brian 3176, Roger. Try SoCal approach on 119.6, 19.6. And if you can't hear anything back, then you can go over to advisory and then sign up Palomar Tower once you're close. So for now, try 19.
SoCal approach, Skyhawk 53176, 2500 with hotel at Palomar.
For 53176, SoCal approach, Palomar altimeter 3003. Thanks for hotel. Report the airport in sight.
I will let you know we got the airport in sight, 53176. Nightmare, what's happening, man?
The transmitter is kind of low. Back to your present position on the other frequencies, so just for future reference.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Thanks. 176.
American 2787 contact.
Okay, I do remember that then, Striker, yeah. My brain hurts. My brain is starting to hurt too, and I'm getting hungry, dude.
Elevator contact 15 miles northeast Santa Maria Airport, Santa Barbara, altimeter 3003. Understand you're 172, requesting a flight following to Bakersfield for the Cat 5.
Radar contact 8823 Juliet.
8823 Juliet, say again.
Say again the altitude, please.
8823 Juliet, just want to make sure you're at 172 going to Bakersfield at 7,500 for the Cat 5, is that correct?
Affirmative, 8823 Juliet.
23 Juliet, roger. Resume on navigation, maintain.
Roger.
Back at 2787 Los Angeles Center, LA altimeter 3004. Southern Air 3604, kind of Los Angeles Center 126.35.
Alright, we should be coming up pretty soon here to we can go see the airport. Almost at 10 miles. More than that in visibility. If we squint, can we see it?
Southern Air 3604, LA Center. The Los Angeles altimeter 3004.
That ain't it. It's kind of on a little plateau.
Yeah, 3604, kind of Los Angeles Center 126.35.
That looks like the plateau.
Who else is calling up?
But I don't see airport kind of stuff. Nope, there it is. Yeah,
for altitude 212 back to ground.
That's still kind of a far way out if you don't have like, super view.
Juliet, contact Los Angeles.
Let me know if you have the airport in sight. You just like.
Contact Los Angeles
Let
Center
me just zoom the F
135.5
all the way in.
882 Juliet. Thank you.
For 7 Charlie Lima, climb maintain 5,000.
Climb maintain 5,000, 7 Charlie Lima.
SoCal approach, Skyhawk 53176. We've got Palomar in sight.
We have T3 Juliet, Los Angeles Center, San Luis altimeter 3011. 53176, center services terminated. Keep your squawk code, contact Palomar Tower 18.6.
18.6, keeping the code 53176. Thanks. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have Mexico in sight.
Center 3604, LA Center, Roger, LA altimeter 3004. Roger.
Palomar Tower, good evening. Skyhawk 53176, 8 miles to the north, Abeam Bob Maxwell, information hotel, full stop.
53176, Palomar Tower, enter right down, runway 24, report midfield.
Alright, right downwind 24, reporting midfield 53176. I am using a stick. I've got a very modest setup. It's a Thrustmaster Hodis X with the Cytec rudder pedals. So it's very simple, but works perfectly fine. I don't use the sim as a I don't try to chase realism in terms of feel and dynamics. I use it primarily, and I mean I would almost exclusively for just procedures, procedural and visualization. So being able to actually look out the window and see what a flight looks like, feels like, what the terrain is like, you know, airport orientation. Is there anything, any large landmarks that I can look out for? This plane happens to be almost identical to the plane that I fly. From the outside, it is identical to the plane I fly, but you know, avionics-wise, it's pretty close. So I've lucked out in that, you know, it's replicating the actual plane as well. That's what I'm going for, the most non-muscle memory. Oh, mostly the non-muscle memory, more mental flow. Yeah, the muscle memory stuff, if you start chasing that in the simulator, it's going to be bad news. You're going to have to relearn everything over and over again. It'll never get you close unless you wanted to spend so much time and money, and even then it's going to be, you know, it's not going to be perfect. So I know how the real plane feels and should act, and I use the time in the real plane flying it, and I use the time in the sim to just stay razor sharp on navigation, communication, and the mental flow of stuff. So when I do get into the airplane, I'm not wasting any time trying to figure out where I am, what I'm doing, what radio calls I'm supposed to do. Stay super sharp with everything else, and then just focus on the plane. No, this is stock X-plane.
Left approach.
Little ortho, and that's it. Stock X-plane. This is the default 172 in visuals. It's the rep pack dynamically, but this is pretty much what X-plane looks like.
Via the runway 26 right departure procedure.
Sometimes coming into Palomar Tower will ask you to report squires.
Victor 16. Paradise.
I'm going through pings with some
maintain 4,000.
Jepson
expect flight level T30, 5 minutes after departure.
To back up,
departure frequency 135.4. Squawk 6334.
Yeah, perfect killer pop room.
Las Vegas via the 26 right departing procedure, Prado Victor 16 Paradise as well. Maintain 4,000.
And Striker, where is Squires?
Departures 135, going 4, squawk 6334, citation 2 and 2.
It's not the power plant, is it?
That correct. Southern 3604, contact SoCal approach 132.37.
No, I'm doing some key bindings, but I do have the radio panel. It's not a very tight pattern right there. Palomar Tower, Skyhawk 53176, midfield right downwind for runway 24.
53176, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land 24, 53176.
Southern 3604,
There's a squash field, can be greenish or brown,
cleared ILS, runway 25, left approach.
On the north side of the field. Okay, cool. And we'll look out for that. Let's keep this part tight though. The ortho, for some reason around the airport here, is goofy. Yeah, 1500. We are, which is why being out that far isn't the worst thing ever, because you can still be gliding distance from it, but that's still pretty far out. Of course, we have no drag in this thing, so I'm just going to go full right here. Get it slowed down and see if we can sink it in. This is definitely not the Bonanza coming in here. Just chuck it at the numbers, doing whatever speed. And
Number 7 Charlie, roger. And just you wanted to do the ILS to 9 and into Riverside, right?
Good thing you get a long runway, man. You're waving for Brett. Yeah, this is way too high.
Short final runway 24.
Number 7 Charlie, well, that will be no problem. Turn right, heading 270. Vectors for the ILS, runway 9 or approach Riverside. And you're clear to Riverside Airport via flight 270. Expect vectors ILS showing 9 approach.
Turn off at Alpha 7. We're not turning off anywhere. We're going around, because you can always go around. Palomar Tower, Sky 53176, going around.
53176, make left traffic, report midfield.
Left traffic, reported midfield 176. So apparently I need to be a little bit further out on my downwind at that pattern altitude.
San Luis ground, Cessna November 172 Sierra Papa is in short-term parking. Would like to taxi to runway 29er with information Bravo.
172 Sierra Papa.
172 Sierra Papa. San Luis ground, runway 29er, taxi via Alpha.
Taxi via Alpha, November 172 Sierra Papa.
Sounds good though. Palomar Tower, Skyhawk 53176, midfield, left downwind for 24.
53176, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear to land 24176. You could be working the west, maybe, I don't know. Oh, we said ZLA? I don't know. Yeah, because we already were on approach to tower, so they don't have them split. It's pretty good right there. Does ATIS have real-time broadcast for your
right, heading 310, descend and maintain 3000.
Yeah, I mean it's updated. Pilot Edge manages that when you're logged in, but yeah, it does. It's all updated like it would be normally. Melvin, happy Thursday.
American 2787, contact SoCal approach
Still
124.9.
gonna need to slip. Damn, did I not leave that
Survey 1,
again?
Bravo, contact SoCal approach 119.6.
I left that too high again. I'm trying to keep them Brad tight. We're sending this thing down. I'm guessing all comms are through a third party. Yeah, all the comms are pilot edge.
3003. It's not as yet the weather and items at Limburg.
There we go. The problem is the plane does not want to slow down
2787 LA.
with full flaps. So you end up leaving it high, especially because I like to keep the pattern tight, and it happens like every frickin' time. I extended it. The guy that crabbed into the taxiway sign.
I'm at the South Parking.
Palomar Tower, Skyhawk 53176, clear 24 at Alpha 3, parking below you at the tower.
Station 212, runway 26 left, taxi via Sierra and Alpha. And you can change your clearance to read the runway 26 left departure procedure, and then that's stop.
I didn't leave it too much. I didn't leave it as far out as I thought compared to the last one. But that's
3.17 Bravo, roger. 176 tax straight via Alpha, monitor ground.
Alpha, monitor ground 53176. See ya!
Bye now. Something there, 3604, contact SoCal approach 124.9.
Below. We're parking below you as the tower controller.
This is Southern Air 3604, SoCal approach, LA altimeter 3004.
And now we're back to where we came. Back to where we started from. Well, there you go, Striker. Thank you for asking your question, and I have no idea how long this stream or video is, but hopefully that was a thorough enough response. It probably prompted more questions, which of course feel free to ask, but that was a lot of fun, man. So I hope you do fly into John Wayne soon, and definitely let me know when you do. And if anybody else had any questions regarding this, even if you're watching to this point, which is highly unlikely except for everybody watching on Twitch, thank you very much. Let me know. So that was fun. I am starving and exhausted. B. Crockett, happy Thursday.
080 at 4.
Just at the worst time.
Clear to take off runway 29 report closed traffic.
Yes, we went to John Wayne.
172
but it's okay. There will be a video. Melvin, it'll be well, you can watch the VOD, of course. Unfortunately, it's not live, but if you are interested in how to fly into John Wayne as a visitor, hopefully it was educational or informative in any way. So, yeah, it's a lot of stuff to go over, and it was fun reviewing all of it. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah. See you in the Discord.
016, John Wayne clearance. You are going to, let's see here.
There's
Del Monte Airport.
Del Monte Airport. Great, thank you.
And yeah, have a great rest of your night, guys. And if you're new to the channel, then enjoy this, and goodbye.